So imagine you have a scar on your face or a blemish and you're in an interview and the person starts looking at you. And you notice their attention goes to the blemish or to your scar. The question is there something you can do about it? And that's sort of what we were interested in looking at in this study.
And we really wanted to capture the trajectory. Does someone continuously look at it? Do they look at it and then look away? So what does that pattern look like? So what we found is that overall, people will look at it a lot during the first minute of an interview. And then the eye goes away to other parts of the face, but then it goes back. And so what we find, it goes back and forth, how much attention you give to the scar or port wine stain.
What we found was that when people acknowledge their stigma, people immediately put their attention on that stigma. They look at it, the scar, the blemish, whatever it is. And then it seems they get used to it, and over time they stop looking at it as much. We found that strategic because when people don't acknowledge, what happens is people spend time looking at the scar or the blemish, and then they realize, shoot, they shouldn't be looking at it. And so they stop looking at it. But then their attention goes back to it and they say, what is that? And then they realize, shoot, they shouldn't be looking at it. And so what we tend to see is if people don't acknowledge, their attention to the scar goes up and down and up and down.
We look at it two ways. So one is, the organization themselves, they have a responsibility to minimize any bias that people may have against people with some type of scar or, other type of facial stigma. And so, having some type of process like the phone interview or a blind interview where you don't necessarily have to see the person at first to find information about them. But we know that is often not realistic. Everyone wants to meet people and talk to them face to face. And so our research shows that if you acknowledge it, so if you're the person with the stigma, and if you acknowledge it, then at least it alleviates the other person's attention that's given to that stigma.